Yeah, that was the goal when I woke up this morning, certainly. Look good. You look good, Kent. All right, happy Halloween to everybody. Obviously really excited, 9 days out from the season opener next Wednesday night. Guys have worked extremely hard. We still have 6 practices left between today and the season opener. Working hard to establish what the roles will be on opening night. I think you'll see those evolve as the season goes along. But I've really enjoyed coaching our group, love our team. We're going to be a work in progress. We have a lot of work to do. But I think our guys have been really committed to that process, and we'll just focus on continuing to get better each day. So I'd love to answer any questions.
Yeah, just in your practices so far, how are your roster results versus the expectations going in? I'm sure you tried to clear your mind of the expectations, but what are you getting out of them, I guess?
I'm not sure what the expectations are or what they should be. I know what our goals are, and while very boring, it's simply how do we build this group of talented players into the best team that we can be. And I think from that standpoint, the foundation has to be how hard you work, has to be creating some buy-in to the program, to the coaching staff, and more importantly to each other as teammates. So I'm pleased with the progress there, but still a long way to go.
Matt, your 2 outside scrimmages, how did they go, and how much did you get out of that as far as, setting roles and stuff? How far are you along in that regard?
Well, they were great for us. Very much prefer the Division I close scrimmage route to the exhibition games. Enabled us to play a lot of different combinations against really good competition. You don't just have to play 2 40-minute halves. You're able to play for longer, so we got more time, which we need. I think probably like most coaches, they would tell you there was good, there was bad, there was ugly, but no set rotation yet. I do think these next 9 days, these next 6 practices are going to be critical there going into the opener.
Coach, right here on your right. When it comes to Jalen Reed, what does he add to y'all's front court with his skill set and just what he does well?
He's a unique player. Just being honest and upfront, I've never coached anyone quite like him for that size, 6'10", 230 pounds, but very skilled player off the dribble on the perimeter. Very smart player. Unselfish, willing passer, can create for himself and for others. I think his biggest challenge, like most freshmen, is just learning, the consistency you have to play with at both ends of the floor, the daily grind of the process that goes into it. But really pleased with him. He's a great teammate. I think he's going to have opportunities to be a really special player.
Yeah, hey Coach, Glenn West. Just you mentioned just kind of you wanted to have an 8 or 9 man rotation, I guess, to start the year. But just I guess in season, how does that work in terms of rotations? Do you expect to be pretty multiple with how you use the guys, or do you expect to have a pretty set, kind of standard for the first 2 games?
Yeah, I think it's an important question, and I don't know that I have the perfect answer necessarily. I think as a coaching staff, you have to be whoever your team needs you to be and design it whatever gives us the best opportunity to win. So been fortunate to be a part of really elite teams, that the starting lineup was the same every single game. Kind of settled in on an 8 to 9 man rotation, and it was that way from opening night to the final buzzer of the season. Been other teams, I think we've talked before about our 2019 NCAA tournament team where one of our starting 4-man in January, February, and March didn't even get to play in our closed scrimmage in November. He wasn't even in the top 5 rotation of our front court. So I think with everyone being new, I definitely don't think whoever plays whatever minutes they are next Wednesday night against Kansas City, I think you'll see constant change throughout. With the ultimate goal just on getting better and putting the best group out on the floor. And that's one thing I think our players really have to understand I think it was Red Auerbach who always talked about it back in the Bill Russell days. It's not necessarily about getting the 5 best players on the floor. It's the 5 that play the best together. And so we're really working to build that chemistry and quite frankly, still have a long way to go there.
Hey, Coach, right over here to your right. Right.
I got you.
So Milwani Wilkinson, he started last year. He's one of the few guys that decided to stay at LSU and play for you. What have you seen from him while working to build this new team?
Yeah, I love it. I love him. Just consistent, solid as a rock. You know what you're going to get every single day. He's an outstanding defender, really physical. He's tough. Shoots the ball extremely well from 3, which, as we know in today's game, is so important. And then the one thing I've really enjoyed, he's been one of our best rebounders with his size and athleticism at the guard position. So been very consistent. I do think he's put himself in a position to take a jump in his production here as he goes into his 3rd season.
All right. How much do you think you'll rotate guys in the first couple of games, or would you like to have, a good number of minutes for the guys that you have a history with?
Well, the guys I have a history with, they're not entitled to anything. They'll have to earn their role in the team just like everyone else. So, I think a lot of it will depend on, how we respond in practice over these next 6 days. I definitely don't want any player right now here on October 31st thinking, A, they've earned their role and they've solidified these 33 minutes a game for the season. Or B, they're not in the rotation right now. There's no hope or no chance for them to get into the rotation. I do think there'll be a lot of change. Everyone's new. A lot of these guys have never played together. I'm still learning them. They're learning me. We're building those relationships, trying to develop that trust. So the biggest thing, as cliche as it is, I mean, the goal is we got to start stacking days. We just got to get better each day. We got to build our chemistry each day. We're not going to be on November 9th the best version of ourselves. I hope we can just find ways to win early in the year, all right, but keep getting better as we go. And I think that's going to be really important for the mindset of our team because it is a long season.
At SEC Media Days, KJ Williams found to be a man of few words, but what did you see in him when you got him 5 years ago? I mean, obviously he's developed into something really good, but what did you see in him when you brought him in at Murray State?
Well, I think in the recruiting process, usually you identify their basketball talent first, and so first time we saw him and started the recruiting process, you saw his size, obviously at 6'10", his skill level. As a freshman, he shot almost 70% from the floor. You've seen him expand his game over the years with his three-point shooting, his ability to score with either hand in the post. But then after the basketball, once you identify the talent in the recruiting process, you start your homework on who they are as a person. He's a high-character young man. He's a great teammate. He just wants to impact winning. And for us, that's going to be critical. He's the oldest guy on the team. This is his 5th year of college basketball. So for him, whether it's through leading by example or by using his voice, he has to develop into that leadership role for our team. I think so. I mean, he's got great personality, great charisma. I think teammates like playing with him because he is unselfish and he's about the right things, and you want that to expand and become contagious throughout the entire locker room. So we're counting on him to do that.
I'm not sure if we've asked you about this in a while, but Trey Hannibal's situation, have you guys found out from the NCAA if he'll be eligible to start the year or not?
Yes, Trey's fully cleared and eligible to play. Expecting him to have a major impact on our team.
Hey, Coach, over here again. So I know you just mentioned it about KJ Williams, but how important is leadership on your team, especially with the guys, and who else do you really look to be leaders on the team?
I think from a basketball standpoint, there's a lot of getting better we have to do, whether it's offensive execution, understanding the defensive schemes, but I don't think there's anything more important than developing the leadership of our team. And we've got to fast track that as coaches. We've got to speed that process along. You're going to have guys, some who lead by example, but ultimately somebody has to have a voice in that locker room. Someone has to carry the message of the coaching staff to the rest of the team. And to do that, you have to be consistent on a daily basis. You have to lead yourself first. I think there are a lot of good candidates. But as far as the voice of our team, that's going to take some time. But we have to get there, and I think it's going to be really as important for us as it is strategy and X's and O's.
Haven't had a couple of close scrimmages, as you said, and getting to do some things you want. There's no substitute for playing a real game, obviously. When you open next week, how much will you be able to run the offenses you want, the defensive sets that you want, or how long will that take to get to play the style that you want to play?
The base needs to be in by Wednesday. I mean, that's the hope. I mean, we just, what we do, I don't think it's overly complex. I just want us to be really good at it. So that's going to take time. But, by Wednesday, everything's installed that needs to be in. Offensive schemes, defensive schemes, what we do on out of bounds, underneath, side out of bounds, end of half situations, late game situations. All those things are installed. We just got to keep getting better at them. And the scrimmages have been great, but there's nothing like playing under the lights, fans in the stands, popcorn's popping, season opener Wednesday night. If you're not excited about that, you need to find something else to do.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious if you've spent any time looking at the SEC and scouting the league, or it's all been your team. And if you have looked at the league yet, just maybe some early thoughts.
Yeah, I've followed the SEC 44 years now. Unbelievable league. It's of the Power 6 leagues, it's the most up-tempo, fastest playing league. I think most would agree, the most athletic league. The way we've divided it up in the offseason, Matt, is each coach has had about 3 teams they were responsible for doing the advanced scouting report, so we've spent a lot of time there. Just always going to be honest in these deals. My whole focus has been on our team. I haven't done any scouting, anything in advance there. Now with the season about to start, spend a lot more time in that area. But you look at the league, 7 preseason top 25 teams, 7 teams projected for the NCAA tournament. You look at the last 3 years, 12 more NBA draft picks than any other league in the country, twice as many lottery picks as any other league in the country, Hall of Fame coaches, great fan bases. One of the many reasons I wanted to come to LSU, to be a part of something special like that.
I mean, we'll get to see it out on the court, but just trying to get to know a little bit more about you. Are you a quick hook guy, or do you like to let them kind of leave them out there and let them figure it out and stew a little bit?
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be reactionary in our substitutions. I like guys getting to go out and play. I think players have a responsibility there in their effort and their buy-in to the team, to do their job at the defensive end of the floor, to play with great unselfishness on the offensive end of the floor. Basketball is a game of mistakes. I always remind our players, I think Stephen Curry's the best shooter in the history of the game. He's missed more than he's made. When we had John Moran, he led the country in turnovers. So it's just that's basketball. Where we have to grow is, the way we define toughness is in the program. You have to move on to the next most important thing, not dwell on those mistakes or not celebrate the good. We got to move on and make the next play. But I want our players, I don't ever want to take away from talented players their creativity and things they might see on the floor, to where they feel like, the coaching staff's in a PS5 game trying to play 2K out there and joystick the game. I want them to go play loose and free with a lot of confidence. All right, thanks so much.